Hey there, everyone. Just wanted to take a video of an issue that I found on my wife's 2007 Honda Odyssey. I know a number of people have experienced this in their vans based on what I've read in the forums, but I kind of figured out a solution to it. So what's happening is the rear seat here is locked down, and it would get stuck in that position. And it turns out that the reason is the release mechanism cable right here is broken, and it's a little plastic piece that retains the end of the cable, and it broke off. So I took it apart to try to figure out what went wrong, found that, and then tried to glue it back together, and that didn't work out so well. So just wanted to show a fix that I came up with just now, and seems to be working pretty good. So first off, if the seat is stuck like this, the easiest thing you can do, so I put this handle back on so you can see the mechanism work. So as you pull this, it's moving down this slider mechanism right here, and it's extending out this cable. Now there's a plastic clip that's in place here. This is my fix implemented there, but it's pulling this cable, and that releases the mechanism, and then you can raise the seat up. I can't do it because I have my other hand holding camera. But as you see this, get a better shot. So you can see this bar back here that's actually moving, and that's what's releasing the seat mechanism. So what you can actually do is, in between here, let me move to get a better view. So in the back of the seat mechanism, it's this tab right here. And if you actually press on this, you can move it by hand. I know it's hard to see right now. But you can, if your seat's stuck and you need a way to move it, you can actually stick a screwdriver in here and push this little latch mechanism here. And that'll at least get your seat up and get you going. And I hadn't been able to find that, and I just realized it as I took it apart. When you take this apart, I ended up breaking my cover, so I figured I'd show you how to do that properly without breaking it. So first thing you want to do, this is on here, obviously. First thing you want to do is take off this handle. Now, it's only held on by a retaining clip right here, but you can't get to it when you're when it's installed. So what I did was, as this is on here, what I did was I took a interior removal tool. You can just barely stick it in next to the armrest and slide it in here and then pry that out. It takes a little bit of effort, but you can do it, and it'll pull this clip apart and slide it right off. After you do that, there are going to be a bunch of screws. So there's one screw here, and then there's 3 around the drink holder right here. So there's the 2 there, and then this one that's accessible in the center. Okay, so for the cup holder, I just took out the 3 screws, 1, 2, and then the third one is in there. So when you go to pull this thing out, don't just yank it straight towards you. You want to actually tip it out a little bit and then lift it up. So there's 2 hooks, so you have to kind of pull it upwards. As soon as you clear this lip, you want to pull it up. And the reason is there's these 2 hooks on the bottom. You can see them right here and there. They fit into these 2 slots, so you can pull this kind of up or back towards you and then up, and that'll keep you from breaking that. So you take those out, take that screw out, and then there's little locking tabs up here. So there's locking tabs up here and then along the back edge here. And if you pop those loose, I'll show you how this is held on. So if I can get it to stay. So there's two hooks, or two sets of hooks. There's this guy here, and you can see I've hot glued it back because my previous glue fix didn't work. I cracked that off by just yanking on it. And then there's this set down here, which are hooked upward. So when this thing is on here, once you pop, once you pop those holders loose, what you're going to have to do is tilt this that way. So tilt it up and away, and then you can remove it off of there. These two clips go on to this bracket here, and then this top clip goes on, I think it's onto this bar right here. So you just have to be careful with it, otherwise you break it like I did. But I was able to hot glue it back together, and that seems to work pretty well. I tried Gorilla Glue, but it didn't really stay. So anyway, so I want to show you my fix, and what you'll find. So here's this original cable clip. Focus in there. So you can see this cable that runs down to that mechanism, and it's held on here. Now, this piece of all thread is actually my little fix for it, but this is the original piece. Let me get in the light so you can see. So this is the original clip that's actually in there. It's held on, it's just a little plastic piece. If you look on the parts diagrams, you can't find this piece. You would have to buy a whole new seat bracket and mechanism, which is ridiculous. And so all this does is it holds the cable sheath in there, similar to like a bike brake cable. And it just keeps it stationary, keeps the sheath stationary, so you're actually pulling on the cable when you pull the lever. But obviously it cracked in half and was no longer holding the cable properly. So I tried to glue, I found another piece. I think I used like a crimp connector, cut it in half. Tried to glue it on there, and that didn't work. The first time my wife tried to pull it off of there, it just snapped off again. So I had to come up with something else. So what I did was, I found that once I pried that out of there, I measured the inner diameter of this bushing right here, and it's almost perfectly 3/8. And if you take a piece of 3/8 all thread, which I happen to have in the garage, you can thread it in there, just force it in there. I just put 2 nuts on it, locked against each other, and then threaded it in. And it'll actually sit, I don't know if you can see, not really, but it actually butts up against the back plate because it goes straight through. And so if you just cut off a piece, and then I drilled a 3-step hole, so I can get you the diameters. I'll write it in the link below. But there's 3 bores, one for the cable, then one for the inner metal part of the cable sheath, and then the outer plastic portion. And so I just step drilled it in here and then cut a slot in the end, and that allows me to screw it in and out. I just did that with a hacksaw, and then cut it off to the proper length, and it fits perfectly, and it seems to work really well. So so these are the dimensions that I used for my little seat mechanism cable retainer. So again, it's 3/8/16 all thread. Mine's about 1 1/8 inch long. You could probably go a little bit shorter between this end and where the hole is located. Mine's probably a little long, but it works just fine. And then, like I said, I drilled 3 holes. So I started with a 3/32 hole. I drilled that all the way through, center punched it. I actually filed a flat on the top here before I did that. Center punched it, and then drilled 3/32 through, and then did 11/64 for the center section here. So I just went most of the way through. I just eyeballed it, something close. And then the top of it on the stock piece is close to 13/64. Hard to do that with a drill bit. You really need like an end mill or something to do that properly. So I just kind of hit it, but it got stuck. So yeah, it's fine. It'll be fine. But those are the dimensions. So this is the actual piece. I took it out, and so you can see that kind of counterbore that I made in there. And then I just took a hacksaw and cut the end of it through the end so you can actually feed the cable into it once it's in there. And then that actually serves as a screwdriver slot that you can use to install it and uninstall it. And then I just filed the end of this somewhat flat. Not that it's focused on this at all. So yeah, it works, and I can go put it in. I'll show you. So okay, focused. So take a piece, and then like I said, I threaded this in before. Oh, real quick to show you the trick that I use to hold it for the people that aren't used to making stuff. To hold all thread, you can get 2 nuts that fit the thread, and if you have a vise, you know, put those nuts in there, and then you can use these once they're aligned. You can keep it loose and use that to hold it while you're drilling your hole and you're cutting it. That helps. And then if you want to, like I mentioned before about threading it in, you can tighten these together. So just use 2 wrenches to tighten them against each other, and then you can use one to actually thread this in. So I tighten them together and then put it into this bushing, which again isn't threaded. It's just a straight metal piece, but it's soft enough that you can just thread the all thread in there, and then it fits pretty well. So I just use a ratchet on, or not a ratchet, a wrench on this end nut, thread it in there, and then you just loosen these nuts, take it off, and you're good to go. So I'll take these off of here. So toss it in here, get it started. It goes in pretty easily up until a point, and then just take my flat bladed screwdriver and screw it in. And then until it butts up, and then just I got it to where that's at the proper angle. So I can take my cable. Mine has this blue thing because it's a piece that I had glued on there from the previous attempt. And then you just pop the bottom out. It's just a little cable protector here. But you can take this. It's really hard to do with one hand, so I'm gonna have to see if I can prop the phone up somehow. Maybe. Okay. So yeah, you take this, move it up so you can get the cable through the hole, and then slide the end of the cable down in there, and then just take this piece, and you have to pull on it a little bit, push it in there, just take the end of my pliers and push this in, and it's all good. So that's that installed. Should be a heck of a lot sturdier than that little plastic piece, and didn't cost me a thing because I had the stuff here. I did use a cobalt driblet set just to make it easier, because I have it. It's just a Harbor Freight one, but it works really well. So there you go. Hope it works for you.